Okay, Dale Little here, and I debated whether to put this on social media or not. I decided to. It may help someone. May end up saving a life. I don't know. But somebody can benefit. Um, First, I'll start with the Vulcan. Um, and it's not too bad. There's broken turn signal. Um, um, I'm sorry, I've got a little awkward here with my. There it is. My tripod on here, and then here's the gas tank. But yeah, I don't know. That's about the worst things I see. I haven't seen much more, um, and I'll probably have it checked out. Check it out. I'll get able to get back on again. And I know somebody said you need to stay off those things. That's all right. I'm 77 years old. I'm of sound mind. Um, I can make my own decisions. Um, and I don't. I hope this don't sound morbid or anything. Somebody might think it does. I serve my Lord, and that's what I do much time I ride these. I'm going to somewhere to um, minister in some way, music, however I can do. Um, but I've also have tendency not to be able to drive real far in an automobile. It's not as serious as it may. I don't want to make it sound more serious than it is. In other words, but I can't drive the distance I used to drive without starting to get a little drowsy. And 77 years old now, and so I still being of sound mind. I do not drive more distance than what I know I may be safe to drive at. If my wife's along, I may pull over. I may feel that bit of drowsiness, and I say, okay, I'm going to pull over up here, and I'm going to let you take it. Or if she's not with me or someone else, then I'll plan some frequent stops and get out and stir around and get refreshed and ready to go in other ways. And if I need to stop again, I will. And keep going. But the thing is that on the motorcycle, I can just keep going. I don't have to stop for all those breaks. It keeps me awake and alert. And so, at any rate, um, I'm still able to drive. I'm still a good driver. Um, so, it's just I have to realize my limitations, and I do. And so I also realize my abilities and limitations pretty much on a motorcycle. And so, I try not to do things that I feel I'm not capable of, or maybe I just can't accomplish. But I've done well. I've been riding for about 2 years, I think, now. And so I've got 13,000 miles on the Honda, and I don't know how many thousand on this one. Probably about 5,000 on this one. So, 18,000? About 18,000 miles in 2 years on motorcycles. So, I've got a little experience. I'm not pro, but at any rate, I just wanted to do this to, like I say, in hopes it might help someone else. Is my mistake, is error of judgment on my part, and you say, well, I thought you had a sound mind. Well, even people with sound minds still make errors once in a while. And if you don't think you do, you've made one right then. But I'd been down to Lincoln, live here in Bethlehem, or near Bethlehem. Um, and been to a Boger City nursing home with a group, our church. We go down to minister once in a while. They go down once a month. I haven't gone down that much, but at one time when I was down there, they had plenty of help, and I realized last time they didn't have as much help. It was enough, but didn't have as much help as they used to, and so I said I was going to start trying to get down. I wanted to learn the way while it's still, I could get down there while it was still daylight. And so I went, but it was dark the time I got out, which I knew it would be. But because of that, and this Vulcan doesn't have quite as bright a headlight as that Honda does, I decided to come back through Hickory, and where I'd usually bypass Hickory. I decided to come back through Hickory because it'd be better lit. I know some people say they hate driving through Hickory, but I've been through there several times on a motorcycle and with no problems. So I got off of 321, turned to the right, off on 70, Highway 70, and you can see 4th Street in the distance from there. You go down a little bit of a hill, and then you start back up, and I kept watching the traffic light once I got a little closer up there, and moved over turn lane. I noticed the light had been green, turn light, the left turn had been green for a while now, and so I said, well, it'll turn before I get there. It'll not hold that long. But as I got closer and closer, it's still green, and so by then I'm beginning to watch. Okay, there's a median that comes out where 4th Street intersects with 70. And so I said, I need to make sure I clear that. And that intersection it's not necessarily dark, but it's not that well lit. But I said, I need to make sure that I clear that median that comes out there. And so and I'll turn around here so you can kind of look like the direction I was looking, maybe help you understand what I was doing. I was looking up at the traffic light where the green turning signal was at. I was looking over to my left and ahead to that median that came out. And I hope you could hear me there. I know I had my back turned. I was looking at the traffic light. And then I was looking over toward the median came out on 4th Street. Because I wanted to make sure I cleared that. I didn't want to cut too short. And so I was looking back at the median, back and forth, because they trained us to. When you ride a motorcycle, that's one of the things they train for, is you don't look where you're at or just in front of you, you look where you're going. In other words, where you want to go. And sometimes they forget. I think they need to remind people to look. You still need to be aware of what's right there at you. But you think that'd be common sense, and it is really. But when you're trained a certain way, that's kind of what you do. And that's why I wanted maybe just to alert people. Yes, look where you want to go, and that's got to be primary focus, but still be aware of what is right at you. Because that's what happened. There's a median that ran up 70, separated the lanes there also, and it ran way further into the intersection than I thought it did. And I'm, like I say, I'm watching the traffic light and the other median coming out 4th Street, but I wanted to make sure I cleared. And so when I went to turn, I did not realize I had not cleared the median on 70 there that was running right beside of me. Of course, I was over in the right-hand side of the lane to make a little wider swing as I made the turn. But when I turned, so I had to link the width of the lane there to get kind of pointed that way that I was going, and all of a sudden, wham, I ran right into the median that was separating the lanes there. Was I had not cleared that median. I was watching the other one come out 4th Street, thought I had cleared. Didn't realize this one had come out that far, and I hit hard. Did I speed up as I saw the light was not going to change? I really don't remember. I wasn't speeding, I'm sure of that. But I may have been going a little faster than I normally would, thinking, oh, I think I'm going to make this. And probably, didn't slow down as slow as I would have if I'd known I've got plenty of time here. But at any rate, whatever, I hit that median head on. And I hit it so hard it knocked me out. Next thing I remember was my head hitting the pavement. And it woke me up just long enough for the thoughts come to me, oh, that didn't hurt, so my helmet worked. And it did, but I was going out again just immediately. And for how long, I don't know, maybe a minute, probably less than a minute. But I came to, I was kind of rolling back and forth on the pavement on my back, and I got up. And I saw two guys coming toward me to check on me, and wanted to know if I was okay, and I assured them I was. And I said, you need help getting your bike up? And I said, sure. Well, I didn't need help. I needed somebody to do it for me, because when I started picking up, that's when I realized I had a problem here. And my hand is broke. The fracture, hairline fracture, they say right here. Now I'll talk about that in a minute, but got on the bike. Of course, first of all, I had to figure out I knew where I was at. I just wasn't sure which direction of what. I said, well, where's 4th Street? I was all turned around. And if I didn't happen to see the Walmart store that's there across from the end of 4th Street, on the other side of 70, I saw the sign over there, and I said, okay, I need to be going the opposite direction. And so I got on the bike and started on. Well, got started and realized I couldn't shift gears. It's stuck. The shift lever had been in against the bike, against the motor. And so I rode it all the way through Hickory over to Viewmont in 4th gear. Just had to ride the clutch a little bit on my takeoffs. But it worked. The hand was hurting pretty bad, but I was able to do the throttle and the brake, front brake. Just before I headed toward the river on that stretch over there, I stopped in parking lot and called my wife and asked her to meet me at the main crossroads there in Bethlehem, and then she'd follow me on in. And while I was there, I come in just ahead of her. I reached down with my good hand, and I was able to pull that shift lever out. And so from there on in, I could shift gears and didn't have to stay in 4th gear. Now, my hand, and these are the gloves I had. I'm not necessarily faulting the gloves, but you get what you pay for, and sometimes I don't have money to pay for the top-notch stuff. My wife and I, for those of you who don't know, went to Romania a few years back, and we sold everything we had to go. And of course, came back to a different world. Prices sky high, house prices, everything else. So, that skipped pretty good. But here's the thing, and I don't know, probably good and bad out of this. I think, I can't prove it, but I'll take it right here. This hard plastic right here, I know the light's not real good in here, but this hard plastic across here were my knuckles, protect your knuckles. And they did protect my knuckles, probably kept them from getting crushed, because I think what happened was that my left hand slapped the pavement kind of like my head did. But if you'll notice right here, at the lower end of this plastic, it stops right there. I think when I slapped my hand down on the pavement, that may be what that edge right here. Let me get on up there. This edge of this hard plastic may have been what broke my hand. Now, I can't prove that, but it's running across this right at that same place where my hand is broken and cracked, fractured, whatever. But now, again, like that, it may have saved my knuckles from being crushed, but then broke my hand. It would have been a great improvement if they had run this plastic, let it flatten out here and run on down a little bit where it wouldn't be this kind of a sharp edge. Let's see what I'm trying to, yeah. Where's my thumb? There it is. But yeah, here you got this sharp edge that runs along here with this plastic ends. And that's what came down on my hand. That's what, like I say, I'm pretty sure that's probably what broke my hand, caused the fracture there. But it's sad. It could have been worse if I had another pair, or if it hadn't had this hard plastic. It just could have been better, is all I'm saying, is if they had extended this plastic on down and let it flatten out where it wouldn't have that edge right there where it came down on my hand. Now, I'm almost certain that's probably what caused the fracture, other than my fall and my miscalculation now. So, I guess the biggest thing is to when you do the training, and those of you who've been through training, you've watched training, and you've been told to just you look where you want to go. Look where you want to go, not right around you or with the front of your wheels or whatever. But and that's primarily true, but you still need to be alert to what's right there at you. In my case, I should have been making not only the lights and that other median coming out where I was going in my back and forth look. I should have looked every once in a while, especially before I made that turn. The last place I should have looked was right down to make sure I had cleared that median that was running parallel with me. And then I could look back to where I need to go, where I'm going. And so just, may come as a lesson learned. It is for me. It will be for somebody else maybe. Now I'll give you an example of people doing what they're trained to do, even when it goes against common sense. I worked in law enforcement for a number of years, and there was an incident they told us about, and this one was doing weapons training, and this is a true incident though. It was law enforcement got into a gunfight. I don't remember where this was at. Maybe look it up sometime later, but don't remember where it was at or what law enforcement group it was. But there were a couple of, I think, law enforcement people that were killed, and they found out that one of the problems was that they did what they were trained to do. And that was that when their clip emptied and they ejected an empty clip and put a new clip in, they picked up their old clip. And when you're in gunfight and people are shooting at you, that's not the time to worry about that clip, that magazine. But because that's what they had been trained to do out on the range, pick up that clip, pick up that magazine, that's what they did. Even to the detriment and to the death of a couple of those officers. And so that's something to maybe think about. Yeah, training is good, but realize real life situation may be a little bit different. And so, like I say, it's I don't know how long. I've got to go. I had to go and close here. I went after I drove my motorcycle. I drove the Kawasaki home Tuesday evening. Went to the urgent care in Hickory on Wednesday, next day. They all they put on was a splint with just the strap, Velcro straps on it. And they told me that I needed something better than that. I think they just didn't have anything there at the time. The X-ray machine didn't work. I had to work with it to get it working. I had to take X-rays twice. And so they said, well, you need to go to somewhere else the next day to get it a better splint put on it, which I have now. I got there and they were going to tell me they didn't have time to see me, but then they saw a little more what I had, and I did need something better. They decided to go ahead and see me and they put this better splint on here. But now they say I needed a cast, which they could not do right then because my hand was too swollen. So Monday I have to go for a third visit to get my cast put on. And so you pray for me for a speedy recovery. I've got ministry to do. I've got places to go. And so, yes, I'll be back on my motorcycle. Those of you that want to be negative about it, I played football. I didn't quit playing football because I got hit, because I got knocked down one time. You get back up. Now I realize there's time. If something continues to happen, if I continue to have accidents on the motorcycle, then yeah, I hope God give me enough good sense to realize, hey, there's something wrong, and I need to. It's time for me to quit and leave these things for somebody else. But that's not this time right now. I'm still going with it, and I'll be honest with you, I don't have a fatalistic attitude. I do not. Do not accuse me of that. But at the same time, I'd much rather go on one of these than to lay in bed with cancer for an extended period of time, and then the Lord take me home that way. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to go out just being a daredevil, hope the Lord take me that way. No. I've got work to do. I want to serve Him here. I want to serve Jesus Christ as long as I can. And I'm anxious to go home, but I want to serve Him here as long as I can and be the service I can be. And so I don't have a fatalistic attitude when I say that. I think about that movie, what was it, The Secondhand Lions, a lot of you are familiar with, where the two guys, it appeared, the movie left you guessing a little bit, didn't make a statement one way or the other, but it appeared almost that they went out flying in that old stunt biplane and just crashed it, on purpose, because that's the way it is. They were ready to go that way. They thought they were anyway. But so I don't have that attitude. But at the same time, I'm just saying that hey, if I'm given a choice, I will keep going on the motorcycle as long as I can be of help to people and blessing to people in some way. And I'll keep going as long as the Lord will give me health and strength to do it. I hope He'll give me wisdom if that comes. But as I said before, if it comes down to it also, I'd much rather go this way than to lay on a deathbed for an extended period of time. If they don't, tell me that I need to leave them alone, that I need to give them off. I'll know when that time comes. And so, hey, I've had worse than this on the jobs I worked on, but I didn't quit working because of it. So, yeah, I'm not going to quit riding a motorcycle because of this. I knew this was a possibility and likelihood in some ways, to some extent, because I worked with some officers that a few years back. I said, man, every single one of them I knew that rode motorcycles had a bad wreck sometime or other. Broken legs, broken arms, and worse sometimes. But anyway, I thank the Lord this wasn't any worse. It could have been much worse. I'm not sure. I can't prove it. Don't know. Like I say, I was gone as soon as the front tire made impact with that curb. It just knocked me out. That's how hard I hit. Come to, everything seemed almost normal. But it really wasn't 100%. All right. Like I say, I just did this. I'm hoping that it will be a help to somebody. You may have learned something from it that maybe will keep you from making the same mistake. And if it does, then praise God. Dale Little, thank you.